Good morning. My name is Catie Raymond, and I am a mixed media salvage artist. I was born and raised in southwestern Ontario, a little place called Exeter. And not many people know where it is, but it's a cute little town. And I have been very interested in arts my whole life. I started antiquing with my dad. And once I started doing that, I found little pieces, bits, old rusty stuff, and I would make art out of it. So it turns out with all my antiquing and collecting little treasures that I started making all this really fun jewelry. Some people call it junk jewelry. I was doing steampunk actually long before steampunk was even a thing, or that it was really hot or mainstream. When I opened my little store in Coldwater, I met Susie Burtonshaw, who was running this steampunk festival, and I became involved from the get-go. The festival has been amazing. The first couple of years it was, you know, a tiny little event, and lots of people were kind of wondering, what is this all about? And then as the years kind of went on, we became like a spot to come to this steampunk festival, and we had thousands of visitors. We had to close down Main Street. We had everybody in town got involved. So it's been amazing for us. And the last couple of years with COVID, it has been just so sad because I want to show all my new wares and I haven't been able to do that. So now we're doing some online and showing our stuff, website, and hopefully next year we'll be able to have the Steampunk Festival in person, because it's been an amazing, the whole town gets involved, like from little kids to grandparents, and they all get dressed up, and like, it's amazing. So, Polymer Clay has been around for a long, long time. I would say about 30 some odd years ago, I used to do demos at John Bede's. It's a wholesale bead place down in Toronto, and I used to do demos there, so I've been working with this for a long time. But this year, with seeing as I've been at home a lot with the COVID, I took some time to get back into it and do some creating, and this kind of work, lots of people can do it, but no one can ever do the same that you do, because it's a one-of-a-kind art medium. And I'm going to do a quick show you. We start with our polymer clay, and I run it through the pasta machine to make it nice and thin and make it all the same thickness. And then I roll it into this, which is called a plug. And it turns out, at the end of the day, like this. There's a ton of work, but it's really fun. So we take this tissue blade, and we cut it down the center, and inside you can see all the mixed colors that I used to create this blend. I'm gonna do a bit of squishing with that because we're gonna make this into a flower petal. Instead of just the triangle that we started out. And then I've rolled out some thin black polymer clay, and I keep it in this so it doesn't stick to each other. And I'm going to wrap it around so that it has an outline. Love this little blade, and of course you always use the wrong end when people are watching when you're trying to explain something to people. So we would wrap this around nice and tight because we don't want any air bubbles. And so I would do that for all of them. And you see, you start to put it together. It's gonna be a fall daisy because I figured it would be the perfect time of year to demonstrate this. And it's gonna start to look like a petal. So that's kind of cool. And then, so I would do it with the rest, and you put it into a log and you roll them out. So they start out really thick. As you can see over here, I've got some more samples. It starts out thick, and then you can roll it and make them teeny, teeny, tiny, like teeny tiny. And then you take, I'll show you when you cut it, the same pattern. I would use these slices to create a little compact, and then you squish them all down. And if you don't want your fingerprints, you can use a piece of this plastic and you burnish it. And then this gets cooked and it melts and kind of adheres to each other. And then I cover all of my pieces with a clear UV resin, so they'll last forever. So I'm on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram. I also have a website, CatieRaymond.com, and then I also wholesale to retailers across Ontario. And I have done a bit out west, but since COVID started, all the small stores have been closed, so it's been a very challenging couple years, but hopefully now that everybody's back and getting open, you will see my stuff all over.